But I'm going to cover how it doesn't take a lot. Everyone thinks it takes a heroic effort, right, to make something big happen in your life, when in fact, the opposite is true. It's not a heroic effort. It's a consistent effort of doing normal things in a consistent manner. I'm big about consistency. You know, we talked last night with Tim Goad about persistency. So persistency is just getting up. When you get knocked down, you get up again. You get knocked down, you get up again. You get knocked down, you get up again. Something good happens, you get up again. You know, when something good happens, you keep going. You don't like slack off and enjoy the fruits of good things. You get up and you keep going. Every morning, get up and keep going. You're persistent. Like nothing will knock you down and keep you down, right? Anything that happens that comes your way, you get back up again. Like I said yesterday, 10% of life is what happens to you. 90% is what you do about it, right? You can't control what you can't control. But the only thing you can't control is what you can do about the things that happen to you, things that happen for you, right? The things that happen to you to learn from. You know, it's kind of how you look and frame everything that happens as something positive or negative, right? And I can spin anything that's negative as positive. It's like that thing I sent out on prayer. I don't think I have it right with me. Let me, well, maybe I do. I have to text it to a buddy. Okay, so here it is. I'll repeat it again. This is a prayer. The situation for this guy is that he was in a massive car accident in which his wife and daughter were killed. And then he himself went blind as a cause of the accident. So he lost his wife, lost his daughter, became blind. And so this is his prayer. I asked for health so that I could do great things for you. You gave me sickness so that I could do great things. I asked for riches so that I could be happy. You gave me poverty so that I could really be wise. I asked for strength so that I could fight for you. You gave me weakness so that I could rely on you. I got none of the things I asked for, but all the things I hoped for. And the author of this prayer is unknown. But this particular prayer just really impacted me because, you know, I think about things I pray. I pray for lots of people, okay? So, you know, many of you are on my prayer list. Actually, kind of all you collectively, but, you know, there are by name prayers. I pray for people. You know, and then ultimately I ask that God's will be done, not my own, right? It's kind of like Jesus' prayer, you know, there's something, you know, I'd rather this happen, but, you know, it's not my will, but yours. So that's my end of my prayer always is that. And in the end, he always answers our prayer. It's not what we expect. It's always what we need, though. It's always what we need. It's not always what we want, but it's always what we need. He gives us what we need, right? And any time I've just really prayed hard for something, sometimes he gives us the ability to look back on the way he answered it. He gives us that the discernment that, oh my gosh, he did answer the prayer, but it wasn't how I wanted, but it ended up turning out the best thing for me, right? It's kind of like, you know, if your son asks for bread, you know, would the father, if a son asks for bread, would his father give him a stone, right? In the Bible again. So what does this have to do with anything? Well, number one, the power. I love the idea of persistency. I love the idea of consistency. Okay, so my prayer every day is I pray every day. I'm persistent in my prayer. I'm consistent with my prayer. And then it allows me to be persistent in my hope that something awesome is going to happen today because it's what God wants to have happen for me today. And then I look at what can I learn from it? What can I do more of to, you know, continue the consistency in my life? Now, why is persistency, right, getting up after you've been knocked down, and consistency doing the same thing over and over again to produce results. Why are those two things important? Well, because when you add those two together, you get compounding. The effect of doing that, okay, so Mr. Formula, right? So you have persistency times consistency equals compounding, the compounding effect. And this compounding effect is this, graphically, is this effect. So this is your x-axis and y-axis. I know, I'm nerding out again. Forgive me. But the compounding effect has this effect. It's a curve. Okay? I know some of the engineers start getting hot and heavy when I start talking about describing this curve in a polynomial. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals y. Okay, so that curve could be defined by that formula. That doesn't matter. What matters is when you put persistency and consistency together, you get compounding. Now, is it compounding for good or compounding for bad? What that means, or what that effect is based on, what are you doing persistently and what are you doing consistently? It all comes down to the do. So it's like, okay, so this is what it is. It's the do. Okay, so you got the do of the function of persistency, and the do is a function of consistency. So it's like do. What you do will depend on if the compounding in your life of the result, okay, this is the result, is good or bad. Okay. So what's a great example? Here's a great example. In all of our lives, we know this to be true. If you start eating at McDonald's every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you do it the second day, and the third day, and the fourth day, and the fifth day. In fact, I think there was a guy that did an experiment. He did it for a month, I think. Like he ate at McDonald's just for a month and to see what would happen to his body. And all kinds of bad things happened to his body, right? But every day, doing it every day, it made his health worse and worse and worse. His cholesterol went through the roof. His body mass index, his weight went up like crazy. It was just crazy all that happened to him over time, compounding that decision of eating fast food every day. At the end of that time, because one particular day is not bad. If he just did it one day a month, not a big deal. Maybe if he did it once a week, maybe not a big deal, but once every day, or 3 meals a day, that's a big deal. That's huge. And his health got worse. And if he kept doing it, who knows how much he'd weigh. I mean, it just went crazy. Now, so that's an example of bad. So here's an example of good. Remember Jared for Subway? I don't want to discuss why he's no longer the pitchman for Subway, but remember his story with Subway was he just kept eating turkey sandwiches every day, and he lost like 100 pounds because he just changed his diet to eating turkey sandwiches with lots of veggies at Subway. And he just did it over time where he lost like 100 pounds. I mean, you see in the commercials, where he shows like his big old pants. He kind of holds it up and it's like this big. Again, a decision times the do compounded over time equals a great result. And so using the do of persistency, the do of consistency for compounding, you get this happening that's good. Now, any one decision you make that's a bad decision can still be overcome by the good that you do. So Andy Albright's always said, I'd rather make 51% of good decisions than, at least if I could do 51% of the time of making good decisions, then I'm good. right? Because that 1%, look, that 1%, you don't know what 1% can do. But let me tell you what 1% can do if you follow the idea of compounding. Okay? So the whole idea is the penny a day double. Now I know maybe you've heard this analogy, but the bet, here's the bet. The bet is, would you take $1 million now, or would you take penny a day doubled for 30 days? Which bet would you take? Right? Which bet would you take? A penny a day doubled for 30 days or a $1 million right now? Okay, so let's show you what this curve looks like, the compounding curve. Okay, day one. Okay, day one equals 2 cents. Right? At day 7, you have $1.28. Right? Day 14, you have $163.84. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, 2 weeks into it, and I only have $163.84. I should have taken that $1 million, right? You start doubting what you're doing. You're not seeing the results. You're 2 weeks in, you're not seeing results. You're doubting what you're doing. You're almost halfway through the 30 days. And you're going, oh my gosh, I made the bad decision. Maybe I should have, maybe I should just stop. Maybe I should have taken the $1 million. You start second guessing. Okay, day 21. Now you're a third of the way through. Now you're up to 20,971.52. Day 21, you're a third of the way through, and you're going, oh my gosh, I still made a bad decision. I could have had $1 million, but I only got 20,000 now. Okay? Doubled. Doubled. The last 9 days, doubled, doubled, doubled. Day 30. 10,737,418.24. You are $750,000 ahead, or I'm sorry, you are $9,737,418.24 ahead by day 30 of where you would have been. Because when stuff starts counting between 21 and 30, day 21 and 30, that's those last 9 days, things are rocking. Because remember, day 29 was 5 million. See, the day before the 30th day, you had half of this, $5 million. The day before that, day number 28 was like 2.5 million. Do you see how this curve, the compounding curve, is reflected in a penny a day doubled? So that's why Andy Albright, in his brilliance, the math genius he is that 1% on the edge of flipping a coin where it's like millions are made by that 51%. Casinos, Las Vegas, Atlantic City make millions off this idea that they have the payout to the house be over 50%. That 1% is huge because it's 1% compounded every cha-ching, cha-ching, someone hits that slot machine. That 1% compounded, a penny a day compounded. Do you see that when you're persistent, when you get up, when you get knocked down, and you continue to do the right things over and over and over again, you get the compounding, the result, okay, but the result is later, not sooner. The result is later, not sooner, right? Like, okay, so here's a great example. We talked about door knocking, doing referrals. Okay, door knocking, you may not see results. It may not be this week. And you're going out there, it's like, Dadgum, how come I can't have the results that Karen Musil has? I mean, I hear this all the time. It's like, man, Alex, I tried, but I just haven't been able to get hold of him. It's like, dude, just, come on, keep doing it. And then next week, Alex, I got a hold of one person, but they said that wasn't their signature. Okay, do it again next week. And then the following week, they continue to get out there and doing it at the same level and intensity, and keeping their mind right that something good's going to happen, and then something good does happen. They walk into a house, they're writing 3 apps. Then the next house, they want them to come back. You know, it works if you're willing to be persistent and consistent, and then the compounding kicks in. Because here's how the compounding works. Now that you see results, you know, okay, I got it. I get it. Now I can just keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe I can adjust it more efficiently. Like Karen said, I can be more efficient. So efficient doesn't mean do more with less time. It means using more time to get more, right? I love the efficiency argument. You know, well, Alex, I'm getting so good at this, I don't have to work as hard. It's like, no, that's not it. Do with your same amount of work, but get more out of what you're working, how you're working, right? Again, it's that skill level that gets compounded. So listen. You got to listen to this. When you do when you do this business persistently and consistency, the compounding kicks in when you start getting results. When you start getting results and you match those results to what you're doing, then you start creating a pattern of, okay, if I do this, I get this. So if I do more of this, I'm going to get more of this, right? So you start realizing, okay, and then you try something else, little nuance, and then you don't get the results you were looking for, and you keep doing that thing and still don't get the results you're looking for, you think, okay, maybe that's not what I need to do. If you look at all top producers, like Justin Balick and Jasmine, they didn't come out the gate swinging. They all kind of grew from doing the do. That's the beauty of their story, gang, is they're a story of this persistency and consistency to get the compounding. Because now 2 to 3 years later, they're killing it. Now they're talking about doing $500,000 in a year. Right? Or 400,000, I forgot what his goal was. But because he had the numbers and because he's created the compounding of skill to compound the results, now he knows that he applies the same amount of skill over more numbers. Like I remember what he said. It was like he was averaging 5 sits a week, and he made over 200,000. 5 sits a week. So he just doubles that to 10 sits a week where he sits down with people because he knows what his closing rate is. He knows what his placement and persistency rates are. Okay? Now, I wish I could go over the math of this. I have a spreadsheet. Okay? But do you know that not only does compounding work over a series of events over time, but compounding also works in what you do every day. Okay, so let me explain that. I don't have the numbers worked out, but I have this on a spreadsheet. So you have a contact rate. So I'm going to go through the percentage of the business. So contact rate. So this is the number of dials to contacts. Okay? So contact rate is number of dials to make a contact. Okay, booking rate. Booking rate is the number of contacts that turn into appointments. Okay, show rate. Man, I get excited when I talk about numbers, but the show rate is number of appointments to sits. Okay, and then the close rate is number of sits to closed homes. All right? So I know what these numbers are. I know exactly what these numbers are historically in my hierarchy. But I'm gonna show you the difference. Okay, what an average agent can do by just increase the numbers a little bit. So let's say your average contact rate, let's say I'm talking Agent Joe. His dial to contact ratio, let's say is 9%. Okay, this is the dialing the lead 3 times in a row deal. So he only connects with 9% of his dials. Okay, so out of 100 dials, he only talks to 9 people. That's what that means. Okay, when he talks to 9 people, his conversion rate to appointments is he only converts 25% of the people he talks to into appointments. Now that could be a function of the types of leads maybe he's doing TLP leads, right, versus A leads or A1 leads. Okay, sometimes that has something to do with it. But let's just say over just on average of all the leads he dials, he books only 25% of the people he talks to, he reads a script to. Okay, and so he books 25%. Now the appointments, how many says his show rate, let's say his show rate is 55%. So he's not really that good at tying down, but he has a 55% show rate. Well, 55% show rate. Not that good. Okay. And then his closing rate in the home, let's say his closing rate is 45%. 45% close rate. Okay, so let's say he does, so with these numbers here, I should have worked this out, but I want you to know that this thing can really explain to you how the numbers work. And these numbers have been like this forever. Go ahead and get my calculator to calculate. Okay, so let's say he makes 200 dials. He's willing to dial 200 dials. So that baseline is 200 dials over all the leads he has, all the old leads, new leads, medium leads, all the different types of leads. Because these numbers are very consistent no matter what type of lead. Okay, so 200 times 9%, he gets a hold of 18 people. So 18 people, he only books 25% of those, so 18 times 0.25, he books 4.5 appointments. Okay, come on, man. I mean, let's just round it up to 5. Let's give the benefit of the doubt. But you're going to get those fractional appointments because there's more than 1 week. Okay, this is on a weekly basis, but so let's just round it to 5. So 5 times 55%, which is the show rate, 2.75. So 3 people show up. Okay, then out of 3 people, he closed 45% times 0.45. That's 1.35. So he closes 1. All right, so he closes 1. The average premium written in a home is about 1,000. So he closed 1,000, and then, so he's got 1,000. This is premium. And let's just say 55%. I'm not going to put persistency and placement in there. Well, I could. So, okay, times persistency. Let's say his P&P. So his placement rate, let's say is 0.7. Okay, like 70% he places. And his persistency over 13 months is, let's say that is, let's say that's 70%. So 70% placement, 70% persistency, and I'm off the screen. Okay. So I'm going to give you like his times 0.7 times 0.7. Okay, so that total after P&P is 490 times 55% commission rate times. Remember, these are averages over time, so that's why persistency and placement, when you take 1,000 per week, per week, per week, and then you apply these numbers, for 1 closed sit, he made $269, okay, after a 70% placement persistency. So 200 dials to make $269 in a week after sitting after sitting on 3 appointments, not very encouraging, right? So let's see that his skill set gets a little bit better, not massively better. Let's see the difference in income. And this is where compounding works in skill. This is the skill compounding example. So 200 dials. Okay, so let's say his connect rate goes up just to 12%, right? So let's kind of draw a line here. Okay. So let's say his contact rate goes up 12%. His booking rate, because he works better on his script, he works hard on his script, he works with his upline, he goes to the hotspot meeting and talks to other people, he goes to a dial team, to a rally point, and listens to other people do it, and he learns how to just handle a few more objections, turn it around, and let's just say it goes up to 30% appointment booking from 25. And then let's say his show rate goes up to 65% because he's tying it down. He's asking for directions. He's making the client visualize. Hey, he said, hey, can you get a piece of paper, please, and write down my name so you don't forget me? My name's Alex Abuyuan, Thursday at between 6 and 7 p.m. And can you stick that in your refrigerator or on your bathroom mirror for me, please? You do all those things to tie it down, and it's not even going up by a lot. 10% show rate is not a lot. And then let's say his close rate goes up 55%, just a small percentage, 55%, okay? And let's say his placement of persistency, these numbers go to 75%, because he knows how to do the second to the last chart better. Okay, so let's run through those numbers and see what happens. None of these went up massively. They just went up a little bit. So 200 dials, what happens? So 200 dials times 0.12. Now it gets a hold of 24 people. See how it starts here? 24, okay, times 30% booking rate, 7.2 appointments times 0.65, 4.68, so that's, let's say, 5. See, it goes 3 to 5. Now, his closing rate is 55%. 5 times 0.55, 2.75, or it goes up to 3, right? So 3, $1,000 premium per home. I'm not even increasing that, because that's the nationwide average. It's about that. It's more like 1,100 per home across the country. So 3,000 times 0.75 times 0.75. He's getting 5% better in placement of persistency. So 3,000 times 0.75 times 0.75 equals 1687.50 times 55%, $928.13. Do you see the percentage difference between that number and this number just because his numbers went up just a little bit? This only went up, what, 3%? 3% more. This went up by 5. Well, okay, it's not really 3%. It's, if you did the percentage increase. But anyway, just eyeballing it, it's not that much. That went up, what? What percentage is that? That's, 250? That almost went up 4 times. Almost 4 times increase just by little bit increase in each of the things that he does. So the whole persistency and consistency and the compounding effect also works in every little skill in the business. So why do you think we work on trying to get your skills better? Because every little percentage makes a big difference. It almost went up by 4 times the result. Can you imagine if you just worked a little bit, right, on dialing in the morning, early morning, where you can get a hold of more people, dialing anytime during the day, applying those 200 dials more efficiently, getting a hold of more people. right? And maybe you're not dialing it 3 times in a row. Maybe you amp it up to dial 4 times in a row. Contacts to appointments, right? You're learning better how to answer objections and get into the home. And then the appointments to sit, that's merely locking down and tying down that appointment so they show up. And you're dialing and you're booking within 24, 48 hours. You're not doing it 72 hours later or a week later, right? It's just little disciplines that you can get better. And there's simple things that are within your control to help you get a massive result. This is net income. Well, not net of leads, but do you see how this works? And this is just one, right? So this is like when Justin Balick dialed 700 dials to get 3 appointments. Do you think he does that now? No, because he got better at all these. Jasmine Lightborn also got better at all these, so now they get more. And they do more to get more. So the persistency and consistency equals compounding works in every little thing you do. And it works when you make the right decisions 1% more than you make the wrong decisions, 51% of the time. And it's in everything you do. So all we're trying to do at the Alliance is try to teach you how to make the right decisions every day, consistently and persistently, where you get up when you got knocked down, and then you keep getting up every day to do every day, and to do the 18-player steps every day to get the compounding of good stuff happening in your life. And when you do it over and over and over again, the good stuff gets better and better. It's that asymptotic curve, right, where good stuff happens. Remember, good stuff, because you're doing compounding the good decisions. And so the final thing, how can you think that going to national conference would be a bad decision? Okay? Going to national conference could be the most important decision in your life, because you have to know why you're doing anything. And the national conference will solidify the reason why you do what you do, and it'll increase your belief that by doing this, all of this right here, we will show you what to do consistently and persistently, and then we will give you the belief that if you do this persistently and consistently, that you're going to compound the results to an awesome life. Now and in the future, especially if you're building a team. How can anything bad come from NatCon? Right? You need to go. Because you can get this whole process kicked off by being there. I promise you, man. If you got to beg and borrow, don't steal. That's not a good thing. Sell some life insurance to your family and friends. Get the money together. We will help you get there. We'll help you room up with somebody. We'll help you share car rides, share gas with somebody. We'll figure it out. You just need to make the decision to go, and we will help you go. Because you can't grow if you don't go. Now I sound like Eric Belair. Anyway, man, I hope that helped you. And, man, God bless you. Man, I get fired up about numbers. So rock on, everybody. I hope that helped. God bless.